Changes in the competitive battlefield. He uses the word battlefield, C.K. Prahlad, in his article. He's talking about competitive landscape and how there's lots of disruption and how it's a battlefield of sorts. And that the tools that we use that were developed in like 40, 50, 60 years ago should be revisited on constant basis. Like what worked in the past may not be the tools of the present or of the future. So it's very important if we don't adapt to all of these disruptions that are happening, if we don't have as leaders some sort of point of view of what the future looks like and what sort of milestones you can articulate for yourself and the company, then these disruptions and trends we will not be able to handle them correctly and harness their power. We'll just miss out on all of these trends. Look at these things. There are lots of things that are mentioned in the article. Technology convergence and innovation is rapidly changing not just one industry but almost every industry. Internet development of internet led to computing, personal computer. Many countries have been impacted in a positive way by using technology to advance their growth. So cloud computing with Amazon, Microsoft, Google, many big companies providing services on the cloud. Smartphones, which are much more powerful than the computers of 10 years ago. Amazon, the rise of an internet retailer. With one click, you can order things that just gets delivered to you the next day, right? So these technology-based disruptions are huge. Platform-based companies like Apple, which provide an app ecosystem, again influences huge improvements to the overall space. Imagine Apple now has millions of developers writing applications for its platform. It doesn't have to pay any of them. Actually, they pay Apple back. So rise of platforms, rise of internet industries is huge. And that's just one major trend of technology disruption and convergence, and how technology is now part of every industry in a major way. So is your industry in your company ahead of the curve in terms of harnessing these technology changes? Rise of big developing countries like India, China, Brazil, right? These are huge, and that tells us that global trade and global collaboration is here to stay, right? And it's actually going to get bigger and better. So are you doing something to harness the power of globalization and use the power of these countries in your advantage? And consumer preferences, right? There is iGen. I'm part of millennials, right? So iGen, Gen Z, and now Gen Alpha. Every generation has a different way in which they do things. Their patterns are different. If you are a senior manager or a senior leader in a company, and if you don't have any idea of how internet works, you're going to be in a pretty tough situation right now. So similarly, each of us as leaders, first we have to raise the bar in terms of our own understanding of these tech innovations, but also be in par with the generations and the mindset changes, the preferences changes that these new consumers have. How will you build the products that these new generations need if you don't understand them, right? So consumer preferences are changing in a major way. Lots of deregulation and privatization of big industries are happening. Climate change, when green tech and global warming is causing lot many people to think more green, and how your products and industries are impacted is equally important. So in a sense, right, increasing speed of innovation across technology, across various trends is happening, and competition is almost like a battlefield, because the rate of which is going of innovation is going up, and the rate of disruptions is also going up. And so whether you will be in the driver's seat, or would you be a passenger, or would you be road killed, right? Time will tell. So if you cannot harness the power of these major innovations, or be aware of how you will harness this with a point of view of the future, you need to have the point of view of the future as to what some of these future offerings hold, and how can you influence that change? So that is the key learning here. Like, be aware of these global trends, see how you can use them and the power that they have. How do you harness that power? Because things like this, right? Like if you're Marriott and Airbnb comes in, it took them 12 years to go public or more. I don't even know the exact date, but like, look, they are trading at a much higher premium than multiple big hotel industries combined, right? So these are switching threats. These are innovation in the business model. Uber, right, and how what it did to the yellow cab industry. These big changes have huge impact. So you need to be aware of these changes in the competitive landscape and be able to use them to your benefit. And leaders have a huge role to play. And strategy, as for CK Prahlad, is to imagine and then fold in the future trends. So you can focus on your company getting to be the best at what you do, but then if you can fold in the future in various aspects into your current um, work and execution, then you will be able to harness that power instead of being impacted by it. So huge way to think about strategy in a different lens in terms of all of these trends that are happening. It's a new lens of looking at it. Thanks.